This is Joe Crispin, former Penn State and professional basketball player. You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
I think you said that he could have gotten more separation.
There were some technique fundamentals in Maurice Beaver that weren't perfect in the 80s. I had to throw a few points of critique.
What was it like playing in March Madness? I mean, we have it going on right now.
But playing there was amazing. I mean, like, that's kind of your whole goal is to just be a part of that. It's such a special thing where the whole country is tuning in and anything is really possible, you know.
You know, my optimistic side said, like I said, that we're going to be okay. We just had a bad game. We're probably experimenting a little bit, ran into a good team. So.
If Miami came to our house, we would probably, if anything, win. We wouldn't get blown out.
When you first started playing football, you know, did you always want to play in college?
No, I was growing up. I was a big baseball guy. Loved baseball. And then 8th grade, I remember I got a call from my uncle, Coach Nagel. He's like, hey, I got the job. And I was just like, all right, I'll play football for you.
You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. It's as honest and as raw as sports talk can be. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Garrity.
So Anthony Lottie will punt it away from the 41. Greg Garrity is the deep man for Penn State at the 10-yard line.
Former Penn State receiver and 2016 Big Ten champion. You're listening to the best Penn State Nittany Lion podcast, the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome back in. I'm trying to get my headphone connected real quick. Otherwise, it might sound a little odd. Brett, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad. All right. I'm good. So yeah, we got a few stories to talk about. Gonna get Brett's thoughts on the field change name and Kirby Smart, some other news, just some stories and recruiting, the latest news on that, and then just some. Brett, by the way, that you sent me that cooking thing where they were cooking.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
They've been doing that. I've been seeing Penn State doing that for a couple of years now. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with it.
No. Now, what do you think I thought about it?
You probably didn't care.
Yeah, I thought this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But
I mean, yeah, you don't have to feel any way about it. I don't think it was like an egregious post. Like, I mean, it didn't have to be posted, obviously, but they're just posting stuff to post stuff. It's Instagram, right? So that's what people do on Instagram. They just post stuff.
Yeah, and I said, are they cooking for Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah, cooking for Notre Dame. It was good.
I mean, it's like a freshman thing, bonding, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're cooking for Marcus Freeman.
I just found the post that I meant to send you yesterday. I just sent it to you now.
Okay.
It's the not good news. It's a prediction. It's not official, but
I'll pull it up.
Yep.
Yeah, this was it. Cooking with the newcomers.
LeVar Arrington II.
First of all, I'm Chef John. I'm going to be cooking for you guys this season. I cooked for the team last season as well. It was a real pleasure. First thing we're going to do is some cutting technique stuff.
No.
Alright, like you start cutting now you're Gordon Ramsay. Like, what did
you want to hear crack an egg before?
Dude, that should be in your recruiting, like, criteria. Have you cracked an egg before?
Right. There's Matthew
If you
Ogden right there.
If you haven't cracked an egg, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, but and then I don't know if I sent it to you, but I also saw that Brian Tripp, he was in the updated, I think it was East area locker room where they have like lockers and recovery room and stuff like that. I think that's like for everyone except for football. So I don't know if I sent you that or not, but yeah. So all right. Well, we can just get into Georgia real quick.
Yeah, what an idiot. I mean, just stupid.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, the timing was perfect. It came right up.
The thumbnail is Kirby Smart dressed like a clown because he is. He's an absolute clown. Speaking of Georgia, here's another guy. Carson Beck. 90 days in Miami. Carson Beck has had his Lamborghini stolen and has cheated on his girlfriend with a Latina. The U might actually be back.
The post was fantastic. It was just so good.
I heard that it was a Bella Danger.
No way. I mean, it's possible.
That's what I heard.
Porn star. Well,
she's a adult film star. Yeah. I remember years ago there was a Notre Dame player. He had a picture with I forget her name, but it was another adult film star.
Wait, speaking of that, did you see? Oh no, you wouldn't have seen it because they're blocked. Barstool posted the dumbest thing a couple days ago. PSU Barstool. It was a guy in a Penn State shirt with that Bonnie chick that hooked up with so many different. You seen that?
Yeah.
Ridiculous, man.
I think she's
foul.
Not attractive. She's not attractive at all.
She's been ran through more than I don't even know. But
yeah. Obviously you guys know on this show that we don't really have a filter, but I'm not gonna get too raunchy, but all right, Georgia wide receiver Nitro Tuggles.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, man, that name,
Nitro.
Obviously, he's going to be speeding. Has been arrested on charges of reckless driving and speeding in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, what an idiot. I mean, just stupid.
And then
the lineman.
And then the lineman too. I think he was with him or something.
No, that was a separate incident, I think.
UGA's toughest opponent.
It's just a never-ending joke, man. It's every year. There's a couple.
Yeah, and I said it's the longest yard. It really is, dude. At this point, Georgia offensive line Marquise Easley has been suspended indefinitely after crashing a car into an apartment complex Monday night. So
there's a picture.
I was listening. Yeah, I was listening. Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a picture somewhere.
I was listening to another podcast, Coach JB show. They had Steve Kim on there, and he's talking about. He said, this guy must have been coming home drunk, and he thought, well, instead of parking in the parking lot, I'll just park in the apartment, so I don't have to walk so far. And he said, Kirby Smart is probably doing everything he can to teach them making right choices, make sure you have your grades up, being a good person. And it's obviously not working, apparently.
Yeah, what an idiot. I mean, just stupid.
Yeah, and then you got a dude is celebrating after a loss, and he's calling him an idiot. It's what about these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that, bro. He drove it into the apartment. That's not even close to where he should be.
Had to been drunk. I mean, had to been drunk, dude.
I mean, he had to have been hammered. Yeah, like that's, dude. Like you're hammered out of your mind if you're doing that.
Yep.
Driving while drinking is a terrible idea, especially when you're hammered. But Kirby Smart is a clown. And it trickles down. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is, dude, if Penn State was doing this stuff, I mean, first of all, President Bendapudi would probably be firing some people.
Yeah.
She would definitely not put up with that.
No.
Now, you heard stories back in the day of Joe, you know, and his players and stuff like that. Like, this stuff does happen, unfortunately. Driving drunk, first of all, you can kill someone and you can get a DUI. So, you know, like that is not good. You shouldn't be doing that. And you're obviously impaired heavily. You know, I think it was, I don't want to get his name wrong. Was it Amin Vanover last year? Got pulled over? Was it him?
Yeah, you got a DUI, I think.
I can't remember if it was him or not. So if I'm getting it wrong, you know,
I think it was Amin. Yeah, it was him.
And he was smoking. You know, this stuff happens. Now, back in the day when Joe was coach, you know, you heard stories of guys driving drunk and guys being rowdy at bars.
Yep.
They were punished severely. Guarantee you.
It's more spread out than Georgia. Georgia's every year. Every year there's multiple cases.
They've had like 30 plus guys arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirby Smart at this point, like, he probably has a private shuttle just to go to the jail. Knows everyone by name. I mean, and here's another thing too, man. Like, you know, you see it in movies and stuff, like these guys get in trouble or whatever. I mean, bro, like you're probably going to get away with a lot of stuff. You get special treatment. When I played in high school, we definitely did. But you got to like be smart. It's not like Georgia's winning national titles year in and year out.
Yeah.
You know, like they've been good, but recently they haven't been as good as the last title they won. I think they beat TCU like 63-10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally sent me the first one, and then you sent me the second one.
And I was dying laughing because it's just how.
Yeah.
That was the same day.
Yeah, I mean,
posted the same day.
It's
wild. Separate days.
Like, what's Kirby doing down there, man? They're gonna have to change. They are gonna have to change their uniforms, bro. You're gonna hear a story of a guy getting arrested the morning of a game and then showing up to the game with like, with like a jail suit on and just changing in the locker room, and then, this stuff is crazy, man. And another thing Coach JB said was, these guys don't even know how to change their oil or change a tire, and you're giving them Hellcats and Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do they really need these cars? They don't even know how to drive a Prius. And they're, first of all, sports cars are dangerous if you don't know how to drive them. Like, I've never driven like a souped out car.
Yeah,
but I know they go very fast. Like, I have a Kia, a new, bought it brand new, and it's awesome. Even if I was like a multi-millionaire, I don't think I'd be driving like a souped up sports car.
No.
Like, why? maybe like something as fancy as I would go is like maybe a Mercedes or a Beamer or something. I don't know, but probably the furthest I would go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they got to get their crap together down there for sure.
Sure do.
So, all right. So onto the field change name. I gave my thoughts. Brett was sick last week, so that's why he couldn't come on. Just going around, flu's going around. So a modern day revolution of a kid who grew up loving Penn State and now is trying to set the standard. Christian Hackenberg on BJ Werzen's $50 million donation.
You are a Penn State grad. You're a Pennsylvania kid. To be able to do this here in your home state, do you take personal pride in what you're able to build and the way you're able to impact kids who walked the very same streets that you did?
Well, absolutely. As you said, born and raised in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, graduated from Penn State in 1999. Never really thought there'd ever be a day where the name of my company would be as part of Beaver Stadium and that iconic venue. So if we can, show a way for other people to take that same path and for other Penn State grads to stay here in Pennsylvania and give back to the school, that would be something special for me as well.
You are a Penn State grad. You're a Pennsylvania kid. To be able to do.
Dude, there's this one girl. I don't know if I sent it to you, but she's like a reporter for state media and redheaded girl. And every time I see her, it's like the most awkward interview. But anyway, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
I'm not sure.
But it's some of the stuff they do. I'm like, why did you make that?
Yeah.
She was interviewing. She was standing with Coach Knowles in front of this building. I don't know what building it is, but they did interviews there. I don't know if it's Penn State or what, but she's like standing here with Coach Knowles, and it's like, who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? And then he says the EAGLES thing, because we know how to spell it, unlike the mayor. And it's like, why did you make that video? I don't like, okay, he's an Eagles fan. Like,
yeah.
Cool. But anyway, state media, they got former players on there. And this is one thing that I agree with Hackenberg is, okay, so just give your thoughts, Brett, on the field name and Joe and all that, all the.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. I understand people wanted the field to be called Paterno Field or Joe Paterno Field, whatever. Obviously, I think we would all sign up for that if that was a possible outcome that, that we gain something from it other than just the name, because you're just passing up $50 million if you do name it that, right? Because West Shore Home is offering $50 million for them to put their name on the field, which nobody's going to call it that, dude. Everyone's going to call it Beaver Stadium anyways, like they have been calling it. So take the $50 million, right, and name it West Shore Home Field. It is what it is. It's a couple year deal. What was it, 4 years or 10 years?
15 years.
15 years?
Like $3.6 million a year.
Okay, yeah, that's
$3.3 million a year.
You're basically getting paid for nothing. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Penn State never named their field before, maintaining a tradition of focusing on team and the university rather than individual names. So that's why they never did it before. So a lot of people were asking that question.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you're getting free money, I mean, it's free money, man. You're not doing anything for them other than naming it that, but nobody's going to actually say that, is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once the game comes on TV, oh, we got Ohio State rolling into Happy Valley to play in Beaver Stadium. They're not going to say, at West Shore home. Even if they do, who cares? They're still going to say Beaver Stadium with it. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, right? Like, it's not the thing that's more important to me is bring the freaking statue back right now or make a new one. Joe Paterno. So that's the thing that's more important to me. We want the statue. I think we can all agree on that.
One of the reasons I'm moving to Rumble is because YouTube will probably demonetize this because we're playing this because YouTube's a joke. But like for example, Penn State, Arizona, 99 pigskin kickoff classic. There's Lynn Swan, obviously. Like they would have stuff on the field in the end zones that was like Lincoln Financial, stuff like that, whatever, Prudential, whatever. As you can see here, see that little symbol there? Like that's a company. They've done it before.
Yeah.
Now that's probably like a TV thing, but you know, like I said, I gave my thoughts, but a couple of things about this is, and they beat the living piss out of Arizona in that game. Arizona was 4, we were 3. We beat them good. Obviously, you can see the score there. Number 1 pick, Courtney Brown. So, like, it's happened before where they had, like, sponsors on the field. This isn't, like, a brand new thing. You know, you can see that there. So, you know, a couple things here for me. First of all, naming rights is a naming rights deal. That's what it is. Joe Paterno is not giving Penn State $50 million right now.
No,
I mean, he's probably given way more than that over his career because he gave most of his check back to Penn State when he was the coach. It was never disclosed what his salary was, but it had to be like $3 to $5 million, I would say, even back then.
Yeah.
And he gave most of it back to the school. Paterno Library, Knowledge Commons. That was one of his last gifts, which I used, and it's a good place to go. And you could actually record a podcast in there, which I thought about doing. It's soundproof rooms. It's really nice in Petit side. So, you know, he did give a lot of money back, but he's not giving $50 million to the school right now. Obviously, he's not alive anymore, unfortunately. But that's one thing. And they should have done this a while ago. They should have given the field name rights, you know, advertisement, whatever, before this, because it's a lot of money and it's a very popular field. It's second biggest in the world, something like that. Lots and lots of fans. So it's a great place to put an advertisement. Like, for example, if Mark Lesko Podcast was put in the end zone at Beaver Stadium, we'd probably have like 500,000 followers in like 2 days.
Yep.
That's how quick it would happen. So it's good they get the money. It's good that they've done this now. And then on top of that, you can still honor Joe. First and foremost, like I saw on Facebook, I talked about this. Just put his name on the season side, all the seasons, the sweet side. Put his name up there, his wins, his national titles. That's all you got to do. The years he coached, and then put his statue back up. I know it's still around. I have a pretty good idea where it's at. I do know for a fact that it's still intact from a good source. So you can still honor him. Yeah. You don't need to put his name on the field. What you could do too is you could say Joe Paterno Field sponsored by West Shore Homes. You could do that too. But here's the thing. A lot of people complaining about Joe not being honored. I think they will at some point. Franklin, I would assume, is a Joe Paterno guy. He's brought back all this alumni. Franklin has done a lot of good stuff. that people don't appreciate, like
Yep.
keeping the tradition. The fanciest thing they've done is they have the Generations of Greatness where they wear white shoes, and like that's not Penn State, but that's the fanciest thing they've done. Really,
And I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah. That they should do that. And Bill O'Brien had the names on the back. You know, that's cool. That was his prerogative to do that.
Yeah.
And Bill O'Brien, have a ton of respect for him. If he was still here, he'd probably have a national title by now, even though he wasn't a recruiter guy. Because he's that, maybe, but he's that good of a coach, you know. It will be interesting to see what they do at where's he at? Boston College. You know, but again, he's not a recruiter. Franklin is probably the best at that. But, you know, people are complaining about not naming after Joe. And then, you know, this quote is really good by Christian Hackenberg. Said, modern day revolution of a kid who grew up loving Penn State and now is trying to set the standard. Dude, this is what we need. This is what we need here. We need money, first of all. I mean, I've heard people complaining like they said they didn't need money for the $700 million. It was going to come from no student tuition and all this stuff. And
no, that $50 million is going to be put towards the $700 million. That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't think they did it because they need the money. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I think they did it because it's money. And it should only be given to Penn State guys like this.
Yep.
This guy just donated $50 million to have his name, to have his company put on the field, and people are complaining about it. It's like, all right, so we need money, we need NIL. You guys know this, and you're still complaining when a guy from Penn State, from Pennsylvania, donates $50 million. That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
So that's total BS that you're mad that this guy did this. This guy and other people like him should be doing this.
Yeah.
So good for him. Good for him. So it's not like some Ohio State alum came in here and did this. Like, screw that. That they shouldn't allow that to happen. I don't care how much money you have.
Yeah.
There's certain people that could do that I'd be okay with. But it should be a Penn State guy. The guy came here, got his education, clearly is having success, and he donates money to Penn State.
Yep.
He's not saying like, oh, Joe coached there, I'm not donating money. Screw that. You guys fired Joe. I'm not doing that. At the end of the day, it's about the players. It's about the kids. These guys are kids. As big as they are, as athletic as they are, they're still kids. It's what it's about, ultimately. I don't agree with Penn State on everything, for sure. But I'm there to support the kids. I don't even necessarily there to support Franklin. I'm there to support the kids. And some of the coaches that I like Dan Connor and Deion Barnes. And, you know, Franklin has brought back all these alumni. Dan Connor, Deion Barnes, Jordan Lucas, gosh darn it, Alan Zamitis. He brought back not Anthony Scarato, number 10. You remember? Well, no, you didn't watch it back then, but
you were talking about who's on the staff, right?
Yeah. The other safety he brought back, number 10, played with Zamitis. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Jordan, you said Jordan Lucas. Yeah, Jordan Lucas. And
yeah, but he didn't play with Zamitis. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Calvin Lowry, brought back Calvin Lowry. Who else, man? He's brought back so many. Got Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley was just in one of the pictures that Jackson Smolik posted on Instagram. I said Jackson and Trace and like handshake emoji, and Jackson liked it. But yeah, it's good to see Trace on the field for practices, man. Lost you.
Can you hear me, Brett? Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
And who else did he bring back?
Well, you got Deion Barnes. You got Torrance Brown. Torrance Brown's a GA.
Yeah. Who else was it? The running back.
Running back.
Shoot. His name was Easy.
Running back.
Omar Easy, brought back Omar Easy. I mean, he's brought back so many guys. Derek Williams, I know he's been involved. LeVar Arrington. I mean, he's brought back all of these alumni to help coach at Penn State. I mean, that dude, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, that's so smart of him.
Yep.
Stacked. We're not talking about a normal person here. Franklin is just, he doesn't sleep. He's a machine, man. Like, the guy is one of one.
He lives off black coffee and salad, probably. The dude's
Yeah.
Dude's insane. Well, some chicken, probably. But.
He like, dude, he said that in his opening presser. He said, I don't require a lot of sleep. And, you know, he said, like, I want to go to birthday parties and all this stuff. I think he eventually retracted that. He's like, well, I'm too busy to do that. But, you know, he good intentions. You know, this, like, Franklin he's just a different type of person, man, in a good way. You know, he does a lot, and he's brought back these alumni, and that's great. I mean, I love to see that. They should. Why would it, like, we have so many great players, so many good character guys at our school and from our school, and he's bringing them back. So that's awesome. And this guy, like Hackenberg said, is setting the standard. He's donating money.
Yeah.
Man, we have the largest living alumni in the world. By the way, that one moron on TikTok, he was like, I just looked up 247. Ohio State has the largest fan base in the world. And I said, okay, first of all, your alumni base is 44th. We're number one.
Well, alumni base and fan base are completely different things too. So
yeah,
they're not the same.
And so alumni base. And then he said we have the number one fan base worldwide. I'm like, well, you just won a national title, so you got a lot of bandwagon fans for sure. But I'm like, dude, how are you the number one fan base if your alumni base is 44th?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense at all. And I even said to him, I said, how did they come up with this study? Like, how did they find this information? 247, I guess, did it, if that's even true.
One of the big creators in EA College Football 25, the video game, was a Penn State grad. So there you go.
Penn State grad, made the Fast Pass at Disney World. Mr. Bluford Building at Penn State. He was the first, I believe, African-American astronaut to go to space. So there's a lot of, man, there's so many Penn State alumni that have money, that have success. It's a great school. This guy's setting the standard, like he said. So that's it, man. That's all I had to say. Like, you want to honor Joe? Go ahead. You can. They certainly dishonored him in the past. So let's make it right. Put the statue back up. The guy's not alive anymore. I always thought it was weird to have a statue up of anyone that's still alive. Now Billy Donovan there in Florida, I think they have a statue of him. In that movie Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
Coach Kilmer, they had a statue of him up. So, I always thought that was a little odd, but hey, you can do it now. And then put his name on the stadium, make it permanent. The stadium is going to look absolutely insane. And I just saw a rendering of the Brown Stadium. Wow. That looks insane. That, I don't know if this is like a for sure thing, but they're rendering a new stadium, and it looks, oh my goodness, bro, it looks incredible
for no reason.
Yeah,
it's the Browns,
and it's
the
Cleveland.
Browns.
Cleveland it's not a nice place to go to.
No, it's not.
But like these stadiums, man, these futuristic stadiums, like they look insane. And I saw back in the 70s, man, in Kansas City, they had 2 stadiums, and they could move the dome roof to the baseball field and back to the football field. They never did it, but let's just let's put our money where our mouth is. You alumni, there's no reason that we shouldn't have a Jeremiah Smith and a Ryan Williams on our squad and a new stadium and all this money. It should happen. So why they don't, I mean, we've kind of talked about it in the past, but I think it's going to keep coming and coming and coming. There's no reason we should be behind on anything. We're Penn State. So, Brett, what do you got on recruiting? Anything substantial?
Yeah, so pull up what I sent you.
Okay.
That I just sent you. And
real quick, Brett.
Yep.
Break down our tight end room right now, like how many guys we got.
So
we got 5 stars like serving water.
5 stars and high 4 stars. And well, obviously you guys know about Luke Reynolds, the fake punt masterclass guy. He's going to be a true sophomore this year. He's going to take on a big role with Khalil Dinkins. And then you got Andrew Rappaway, depending on what his status is for this year. I'm sure he's taking it easy right now in the spring, just getting healthy. I don't know. I know it was a lower body injury. He was on crutches during last season. Will probably be good for this year. I just don't really know what the progress is going to look like. So let's keep an eye on Andrew Rappaway. And then we got
Joey Schlaffer.
Joey Schlaffer is somebody I think that's kind of under the radar because he came in undersized weight-wise. He's tall. He's like 6'5", but he was undersized. He had to put some meat on his bones. I think he's up to like 245 now, something like that. So he's getting up there. So be on the lookout for him. He's number 18. And then after that, I mean, we got Andrew Olish, true freshman. He came in skinny because he was like a receiver in high school, like most of them are, or quarterbacks. But he put on like 15 pounds already, so he's probably up to like 230 something. So he's gaining some weight. Good route runner. He's quick. He's probably got the speed that Luke Reynolds has. Might even be faster. I'm not entirely sure on that, but around the same type of athleticism. And then you got 2 guys that are coming in. What's his name? Because we got 3 guys. Matt Henderson. So Matthew Henderson will be a true freshman, and then we got the guy from his last name's Kordovich. I'm talking about. Forget his first name, but Kordovich. He's from I think he's from Indiana, the state of Indiana. He's like a high 3-star guy, but just underrated. He's good too. So we have a stacked room. It's unbelievable.
All right, so Joey O'Brien, athlete.
The thing about Joey O'Brien, this is what pissed me off yesterday. And this isn't a for sure thing. It's a prediction that they put in. And sometimes predictions are put in months before somebody even commits, and they're not always correct. But Joey O'Brien is a Pennsylvania guy. Penn State has been after him, right? He's athletic. He's probably going to be, I think it's either a wide receiver or a safety, right? I think he can play either one. So that's a solid position that you want to go after. And right now, think about it, we've been battling with Notre Dame in the recruiting trail for a couple years now. Look at Will Black, like the offensive tackle that went there last year. We were trying to get him. He was a PA guy. Other than Joey O'Brien, obviously Jaywan Sider went to Notre Dame, right? And he's trying to get Messiah Mickens, and he's trying to get Kavon Spell, right? Kamon Spell. That's his name, I think. Both Pennsylvania running backs, 2026 and 2027. I know Messiah Mickens set up a visit for Notre Dame, it's not official that he's going to flip to Notre Dame, but that was who he was recruited by, was Jaywan Sider. So be on the lookout for Messiah Mickens to possibly flip. It's too early to tell. Hopefully, we need to hold on to Messiah Mickens, man. And then come on, Spell, 2027 running back, very promising, top 100 player. They're both top 100 players, so it kind of sucks that Notre Dame's going after our guys because of the coaching change. But Joey O'Brien, I thought he had a good chance to land with us. I don't know if I still have that feeling. I haven't looked too much into it, but I saw this prediction and was not happy about it. So it's just weird, man, how recruiting works. It's so hot and cold, right? Like, we started off super hot in 2026. We're in the dead period right now where we took a long pause. We haven't had a commit in a couple months now. I think that's going to change. I bet you in April we'll get 1 to 2 commits. I couldn't tell you who it's going to be, but I think it's going to start picking up here. People are going to start going on unofficial visits in early summer, and official visits as well. So I don't have too much more information right now, but I do. That's good news, anyways. But just some bad news. So
we lost that receiver too.
Yeah, we lost the receiver. He's getting a lot of offers right now. I think we'll be okay. We're in the mix for some other top receivers right now too. So we just got to hang on tight and just grab 1 or 2 of them, and we'll be good. Because LeVar Keys, I sent you a video of him running a 4.3 over the summer. Yeah. And Jasir Rogers runs a 4.3 as well. So we got speedy guys coming in, which is something we don't really have right now. So, yeah, there's going to be some things happening. We just got to wait it out.
I'll pull that up. Elliott Washington is doing really good.
Oh, my God, yeah. Elliott Washington, fun fact, he has squatted more than any cornerback in the James Franklin era. He did 386 for 6 or something. Like, for a cornerback, that's really good. So that means his max is probably up there, like 500 something, if he's doing 386. But yeah, he's killing it in the weight room. He's fast. He ran, I think it was last spring. He was booked at 24 miles per hour in practice, which if you want to know if that's fast or not, Nick Singleton in a game last year was clocked at like 22 miles per hour. So 24 is that's crazy. So Elliott Washington's got the speed. He's got the strength. He won every winter workout. He won 6 in a row. So
I think Cheetah, what's his name from Miami?
Oh, yeah, he probably runs around 24.
He runs like 22, I think.
Okay. 24 is just unheard of. I don't.
What's his name again? Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill runs like 22.
Yeah. Yep.
And Arch Manning actually ran like 22 last year too when he ran. Yeah, I'm trying to pull. Okay, there it is. Oh no, that's Jalen Monroe. Yeah, right there.
Bar Keys. It's hard to tell from this angle if it looks fast, but look at him, dude. He's booking it. It was like no time. It was done. Felt like 2 seconds, not 4.
Yeah. Well, I interviewed Rob Ashinsky, owner of Victory Sports, last week. So check that out. And I was asking him about my cousin who ran a 4.4 at Penn State camp.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's going to be a junior. He's 6'1", like 180. He's running a 4.4. Like that's.
Yeah. Oh, and Devontae Ross, the receiver, for how small he is, like he's pretty strong. That's even what Chuck Losley was saying. Like I think I saw him squat. It's like 318 for 4. Like it's pretty good for 5'10", 5'11", 170 something pounds. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, because he's pretty strong for his size and he's quick. So.
All right. I guess we could just move on to other news.
Yeah.
trying to go back because it's been 2 weeks. What all we haven't talked about yet. Okay, so I think it starts here. Yeah, so, we don't usually get, too political here. You guys know where we stand, but might end the federal income tax. That would be insane.
Praying for it, man.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Because I'll tell you what, my check I just got, it was my first check with my on-call pay. My on-call pay should not even be considered overtime for one, because it's not. It's a separate thing, right? My check, so on-call, it should have been like $200 more, right, for that check. Guess how much my check was? It was $40 more than it would have been. It's crazy. So it took all of it, dude. What's the point?
First and foremost, stuff like that, like income tax, like a lot of these taxes, man, they shouldn't even be charged. And we're seeing, and I know that's probably the biggest scandal that there is where this money goes. It's not going to where it should be, and that's being cleaned up. So, eat shit. Penn State, that's a big offer. I never thought I'd be able to say I met Coach Franklin and give him a handshake. Penn State target Jackson Ford on receiving his offer. So, and what is he? Defensive end. Okay.
Which we're defensive end you right now, man. So you already know Deion Barnes is going to go to work and get some guys. So not worried about that. But I am worried about Pennsylvania guys going to freaking Notre Dame. That's pissing me off. So that's why I brought that up.
Yeah.
Dakota, that's a cool name. Garant, maybe?
Garant, number 4 in 2027.
Okay. He's coming in a couple days, man. See, the unofficial visits are always in the spring. The official visits are in the summer. Yep. So
number 1 overall recruit, Jackson Cartwell, benches 505.
Yeah, that's wild.
What the heck's under his shirt?
I don't like a box or something. So in case it doesn't fall on it, I don't know.
Well, I think what he's doing is he's probably maxing out, but that's to work on. You use those boxes and stuff to work on your
core
depth, your depth strength and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like powerlifting type stuff. So he must have been doing that as well. He could be doing with that amount of weight, probably not doing quarter reps like they do at a power train, but he's. Because I don't know the exact science, but you put blocks on your chest to work on your pushing up halfway down, and then you also work on pushing up halfway up, stuff like that. Just build your strength up.
Yeah. Trying to think what else is going on. Not a whole lot right now.
Hold on a second. Wait, where's the sound at? Where's the sound? Oh.
That's my son.
So this was one of the posts that I think you sent me, or I sent you, one of the two.
The one thing about Penn State that I think has changed really in the last year or two is that at Penn State, the commitment from the athletic department and from the school now matches what the expectation is. I think there was an issue at Penn State for a while where the expectation was that you beat Ohio State and Michigan, but the resources didn't match up with equal to Ohio State or Michigan, where now they do. And what that means is now it's time to win. And now I think all the pieces are in place with Drew Aller coming back and getting Jim Knowles as defensive coordinator and keeping the 2 running backs. I mean, in college football, it's a lot about recruiting, but so much of it is now recruiting your own roster. Keeping Drew Aller is as big of a recruiting win as you can possibly have in college football. Keeping Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, and then going out and getting the best defensive coordinator in the country. I mean, Penn State's all in. It's chips are on the table, right? It is all in 2025, and it's time to go win a natty. The one thing.
All right, so we've talked about this in the past, Brett. For me, it's just go out and win, but that's my old school mentality. Like Joe, he would take guys and, Kajana Carter. He was like a 3-star linebacker when he came to Penn State, and he almost won the Heisman Trophy at running back.
Yep.
I mean, do you really think like that's a huge factor, like having the resources now?
Oh yeah, like people can say what they want. What's that?
And like we do now, it seems. So
we're gaining more traction as a program now because of the athletic director, because of President Benaputi, because of them getting more yeses. Like Franklin said, man, like beforehand with Sandy Barber and the Brady bunch, that was it wasn't good. Obviously, it wasn't enough. We weren't doing what Penn State should be doing, and now we're trending in the right direction. Yeah, it's correct. If we don't win it this year, then it's going to be another uphill climb again because we have a lot of guys that we're going to lose that were key players for next year. Next year, we could still be good, right? Like, still, the unknown doesn't mean it's bad. We would just want to know what some of these guys are going to look like. But I have faith in Penn State's recruiting and development that we would still be decent next year. Plus Ethan Grunkemeyer, man. Let's be honest. Like, some of us think Ethan Grunkemeyer is going to be better than Drew. He throws a better ball than Drew. He might have a stronger arm. I don't know about the footwork. Maybe that's something he's still working on. Footwork you could work on for 10 years and still not be good at it. It's hard to do. It's hard to be a quarterback for any team, right? So exciting things for players coming up next year. But right now, this is the year, 2025. Everything we did last year is built up for this year. Yeah, we could have won it last year too, but it's a new year, new team overall. I mean, we got a lot of same players, but we got a lot of new players too that we brought in. The clean slate for the receivers. It's time to get moving, man. If the receivers we have right now don't live up to it, then I don't know what to tell you. But they're like I said, they're probably going to get. I think they'll get one more receiver in the spring. I don't know if they'll get 2 more. I think that's too much. I don't think, and that sounds. I think it'd just be too much for who's already there. That's going to make the room not solid. The room's going to be it's going to be competitive, but there might be some bad blood, and we don't need the bad blood right now. We just need a good connection and good vibes and receivers that are going to step up to the plate. So
yeah, it's a lot of different things now. Resources are an issue, a factor, and Penn State, I think, is there. And according to Adam Brenneman, we are there. So let's make it happen now. We got the talent, we got the resources, we got the money. Let's just make it happen. I wish Drew Aller could have played in this new stadium and have all this new stuff that we have, but
yeah.
All right, so 2025 mock draft. So we got Cam Ward going 1. That's an absolute joke. Abdul going 7 now, and then Tyler Warren going 9. So we could have 2 guys in the top 10. Hasn't happened.
Abdul is not making it to 7. That's the funniest part about it. He's not.
Absolutely not.
He's not.
I mean, the Titans, like, for example, the Browns, I don't know who they have a quarterback now, but they're going to be in the top 5 next year. The Giants just took Jameis Winston. They're absolutely screwed. They're going to be in the top 5.
It's funny because Saquon Barkley told Jameson, he told him like the other day, and he's like, where should he's like, I heard the Giants need a quarterback, and then he went to the Giants. It's Saquon Barkley's fault. It's revenge. He's hot and cold though. He's either like good one game or he's bad. So,
well, I know some Giants fans, man, and they haven't won like the Steelers have. No disrespect, but my God, like, man, as a Giants fan, you have to be just like, I'm done. Excuse me. Yeah, they didn't show the weight on this, did they?
I thought it was 600 something. There was a guy I saw yesterday at some lower school do 700 something, but he looked pretty short. So obviously if you're short, it's easier.
Why does he have a sweatshirt around his waist?
I don't know.
That is
He does a bunch of them, no problem.
That looks like 600 pounds, roughly.
And look, he does it with ease. Like he did like 5 or 6 of them. Like pretty nuts. And the facial expressions.
Easy
money. And they're pretty good ones too. Like he goes down.
Yeah, he's got good form.
Yep.
There's some really bad form I saw on some of those where their knees were going in and stuff. I don't think it was Penn State. Well, maybe it was Penn State, but you got to be careful with that, man. You got to be careful with your knees, your lower back. Like, you got to be careful, especially when you're a young player.
Yep. Look, he did the tongue thing. He killed that with ease. Like Arizona State, hats off to him. I've always liked Arizona State. I like the colors. Yeah, I like the colors. Well, you know, there's some schools that like you like the jerseys and stuff and that you don't hate, and then there's some jerseys you hate and some schools you hate. Ohio State's one of them. Hate them.
For sure.
Michigan, hate them. Most overrated jerseys and everything.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that coach. Did you see about that Michigan coach?
I don't think so. What happened?
He was caught like hacking into school databases and getting pictures of women and downloading them. Like, he hacked into Instagrams, all kinds of stuff.
That's crazy. He worked for Michigan?
Yeah, he was a Michigan coach. He's with the Browns.
That's hilarious.
But, you know, here's the thing, man. Like, of course they're going to tie it to Michigan, but it's like, I don't know when he did it. But it's like, just because he coached at Michigan doesn't mean they should be in it. But, you know, he works there. So, yeah, ex-Michigan football coach just stealing intimate photos of over 3,000 students. He, like, hacked in, man, to databases, IP addresses.
That's crazy.
Just stealing pictures of...
It's 2023, it said, right?
Did it?
I think so. That was just 2 years ago.
Yeah, so...
Oh, recent.
That was... Yeah, that was the year...
Colin must be boys. Him and Stallions must be besties, dude.
That's insane, man. Like, what the hell are you doing?
It's fucking
that's just weird. But he could be facing decades in prison. But yeah, we'll finish up here soon. So, top returning defensive lineman 2025. Grace Halton, Rayshon Benny, Dante. Zane Durant's 2. Peter Woods is 1. Peter Woods is huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy. That's gonna be a big talking point for spring ball, man. Is who's the other defensive tackle that's gonna step up? Or we might have to grab one in the portal. We're gonna try, but they cost money. But I don't care what they cost. You just got that donation, pay for one, dude. Like, this is what it is. Because all we have other than Zane Durant is like redshirt sophomores and redshirt freshmen, man. We got the next two up that I can think of would be Ty Blanding. That's a cool name. Ty Blanding and Xavier Gilliam. Those are the ones that are going to have to step up. So,
yeah, Lonzo Ford.
Yeah, Lonzo Ford. Yeah, for sure. But just with the injury and stuff, like how good is he? Like when's he going to be good? Zariah Fisher, when's he going to be healthy? It's surprising he's still with us, but this will be his last year, I assume. But he had a lot of injuries, just like Smith Vilbert went to play for Bill Belichick. So good luck to him. He graduated. He's a Penn State grad. You know, he played with us as much as he could, and he probably knew he wasn't going to start this year. So, you know, good luck to him, man.
This is for the moron on TikTok who said Ohio State was the #1 fan base in the world. You guys are Ohio State fans, man. I mean, Notre Dame most of the regional fan bases, definitely Notre Dame, but Ohio State is very close second. All right, Ohio State is 20th. We are somehow 16th. I don't know how we're not one.
Well, that's not – what are you looking at? It says 2024 attendance.
Yeah, ranking each of by their attendance
That's
percentage.
not – that doesn't mean anything either. How many people are watching on TV as well?
Well, no, Navy, I think they're number one because they have all those military soldiers go. They have to, like, they go to every game. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
whatever
like,
this list is not correct. I don't know.
But for Ohio State to say that they're the biggest fan base in the world, it's like, okay, you don't even have, man. All right. It's hard to keep up with stupidity. All right. Probably be finishing up here. March Madness is going on. Going to have Tyler Smith on later on today, who played in March Madness for Penn State. Got another recruit here. Upcoming visits.
Receiver.
What's his star ranking?
I'm not actually sure. I haven't really looked into it. It doesn't matter really because it's 2027. So whatever a star ranking is now, it might not be even close. He could be a rising star by the time that happens. That's 2 years away.
Has been named a finalist for the Sports Business Journal Athletic Director of the Year. Sandy Barber probably doesn't even know what that is.
No.
So they're going to get $1.5K this year for being in the game, which is cool.
Yep.
We broke down the math before on this podcast, and I thought they should get way more, but because I thought that game probably made millions and millions and millions of dollars, but it really doesn't. It doesn't make as much as you would think, but they should still get paid more for being in the game, I think. All right, Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the 2026? They're getting paid way more than the first game.
Yeah, 1.5K.
Which is it's better than 500, right?
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. That's triple. So good for them.
Yeah.
Penn State Threads, usually dropping some fire posts. Super Bowl MVP winners by school. Penn State was at 9.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 9, Franco. Legend. I like that Penn State Threads puts up Joe Paterno stuff. It's good for him.
Yep.
George Pickens and his diva.
Well, now George Pickens is favorite to land in the Green Bay Packers. So.
What, he wants to trade or something?
I saw a post that the Raiders were interested, but it looks like the Packers are pushing for him. So,
well, Aaron Rodgers was in the Steelers facility yesterday, so I think if they get him, they'll be okay. But they should still not be in this position. They should have taken care of this a long time ago. They're freaking clowns.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. This is funny though.
All right.
He's only fast. Good speed for a third-string receiver. That's funny.
Hold on a second. I want to play this real quick. I'm just going to have Tyler come on. We'll cover basketball, and then, Brett, you can just hop off. But, yeah, so – yeah, I sent it right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this is insane. 4.37. That dude's stacked, too.
Yeah.
But, Brett, I don't think there's really much else to cover, man. We pretty much covered it all. I'll just have Tyler come on this episode. Penn State baseball got a new locker room.
Yeah. They lost yesterday. They need to win today. They're playing Michigan State.
Hockey's still doing good. So,
yeah. Yep.
Teams with the best chance to go undefeated. Penn State's one of them. And RFK, he may. What's up, Tyler?
What's up? What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Really good, man. Really good. Good to see you guys. Trying to pull up some games here in the background.
Looks like Purdue just beat McKee State.
Yeah, they beat up on them pretty good.
Thick knees.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm just having you hop in. We're doing football right now. Brett's going to hop off, so.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll just do it all in one. But
I got some
someday,
stuff
man.
to take care of. Otherwise, I would have stayed on. But it's nice to meet you, Tom.
Hey, great to meet you, man. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, Brett's a
you
big
too.
Penn State guy, Penn State basketball guy. So.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
All right, Brett.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you, man.
See ya.
You too. See you. Tyler, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great, man. Doing great. March Madness is rolling, so it's a good day.
I was thinking 4. I don't know why I thought 4, but
okay.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all right. We're still good now.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. It's been interesting couple days, you know.
I know, man. These games they're so fun. It's like as long as you're not too like devoted to your bracket and you can just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's usually better that way. Like my wife beats me every single year in brackets. It's pretty unbelievable. I think so. We've been together. Oh my gosh, 20 plus years married, married plus dating, and like every year she beats me. It seems like there's only been a couple where I have beat her, and it's comical because she's never played on an organized basketball team in her life.
Yeah, one girl I dated, she was like, I'm always good at March Madness. I was like, really? And she was an athlete, but she said, yeah, I just watch them play. I know team chemistry because she played a college sport, and she's like, I'd always do well because I just look at their team chemistry. I can always tell who's going to win, and she always did really well. So,
really, that's so funny.
It works.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah, some people they just got it.
Yep,
got it.
So, what stands out to you right now, Tyler?
Well, yeah, I just saw Purdue made Sweet 16. That was pretty cool. I mean, you think last year they were so good with Zach Edey and their big guy, and then to really be looking good, like going into I mean, that was such a good team last year. So to be able to kind of come back really strong again, that's hard to do. I was kind of surprised that UConn was an 8 or 9 seed, but true to form, they won their first game and are moving on. And I wouldn't be surprised if, I think they have Auburn next, if I remember right, or somebody really good.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they give them a game and shoot, what if they beat them?
Yep.
Bobby Hurley is just insane. He's like this insane competitor and like sometimes takes it too far, like, and he knows he takes it too far, but like,
yeah,
he gets his guys to play and to win. Fun game on right now, Arkansas and St. John with Patino and Calipari going at it, and they just showed like this clip of those two guys back in like 96, I think, when they were both in the Final Four, and these like awesome 90s like warm-up jogger suits on. It was so fun.
Yeah, they wore back in the day it was like Reebok was a big, that was the big
one. And it might have been Reebok actually, now that you say that.
But it's funny. Man, one thing that stood out to me was not St. John's. Well, St. John's, they're doing good, but that McNeese State, they beat Clemson.
Yeah, the
so
5-12, dreaded 5-12. All the fives got to be like, really?
Yeah, and Bama, they didn't do that good.
Yeah.
And in Kentucky women, they almost lost too.
I know. It was interesting to see Kansas go down to Arkansas, or as my friends in South America call it, Arkansas.
That makes sense. Yeah, so I'm sure you've been watching it, man. I saw they posted the other day on Penn State jerseys. You guys, when you guys played and beat UNC, and just seeing all that footage, man, it's pretty cool. They had Joe and John on there, and
cool
Titus Ivory and Coach Dunn. They had Terry Dunn. They were showing him.
Oh, really? That's
yeah, because
awesome.
he was in the stands.
Jerry and Terry, man, identical twins. Those guys, man. I mean, same mustache, same hairline, is hilarious. Yeah, he was the head coach of Colorado for a little while. And I think he was the head coach of Dartmouth for a minute, if I remember right. I could be wrong. Maybe not Dartmouth, but I know he was at Colorado for a bit. Well, that's pretty wild. Two brothers being D1 coaches, you know?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I saw two. Go ahead.
Oh no! When you were just talking about the posting stuff about the 2001 team, it was funny. I went over to Penn State last night and snuck into the IM building. You have to know a guy who knows a guy to get in there if you're not a student. You know, it's which is kind of too bad. But that place is busy on a Friday night. I haven't been over there in forever. And it's so nice. I mean, but there was a ton of college kids there, which was really cool to see. You know, I always envision all the college kids being out at the bars or whatever, or the frats, but people were there playing basketball and playing badminton and nets up. They had pickleball. They had 4 full courts of hoops going. So yeah, it was really cool to see people working out, you know, on the ellipticals or lifting weights. I'm like, man, I mean, but I figure there's a lot of people there too. So
yeah, it's very nice there. That was my main gym that I went to.
Yeah,
when I was still working at Penn State, but yeah, all renovated. They made that old hockey rink a gym too, which is nice. But oh yeah, it's always busy there, packed with people playing, which is good. Yeah.
The old hockey rink, over by Lash Building and that?
No. So if you go into IM building and you go to the desk, so the gym's to the right, and then right in front of you, they have a bunch of weights in there. They should still have it there, but that's an old, it's not like hockey, you know, it's like
roller hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have that old roller hockey rink, and they just put weights in there. It's great in there too. So
yeah, great facility, man. You need something like that. You're a big university. You should have something big and awesome like that for people.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And that's when I was in school. That was the number one gym in the country in terms of colleges. Rec Hall was number one before they renovated IM. So Penn State, they technically have the top 2 gyms in the country for a college.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's White Building. That's a great place. I love White Building. People don't like it because there's no mirrors, but I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am. You know, that gym in the old hockey rink there, that's the size of a gym that you'll find at a Lock Haven or something like that, you know, and that's just an extra gym that they have. So
yeah, it's a good spot, but it was fun. It was fun to run up and down a little bit. I'm like, gosh, it's so funny. I'm playing with some of these college kids, and they weren't even alive when I was in college, which is weird to think about. But
I know,
yeah, it's their turn.
Freshman now, 2006, 2007. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that is crazy. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, man, what a fun time of year with March Madness. All these games are on, and it's just you're just feasting on basketball. So when I was in high school in the 90s, they actually would put up these games in our cafeteria, which I thought was really cool. There was TVs that would have school announcements or whatever, nothing interesting ever. And then for whatever reason, for like a couple of days in March, they would actually put games on. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I asked my daughter, who's now in high school, I'm like, hey, so, do they put like the games on in the high school? She's like, no.
Oh, man.
Like, come on.
That's terrible.
Well, there's a new rising AD over there, Lauren Crispell, who's been the assistant for a while and now is going to be the head AD at State High. So we might have to have a talk with Mr. Crispell about when it comes March.
Well, Clay Travis was talking about that on his show from Outkick. He said back in the day, they used to have the rolling TVs, the box TVs.
Yeah.
And he said they would always set them up in the classrooms and just be like, just let them watch basketball. He said it's inspiring. Be like, hey, you want to go to college? Like, earn a scholarship,
Yeah.
Play a sport.
Yeah, and fun to hear like all the stories about these different guys and where they're coming from, and all the stories around it. That's always so fun. And just to see, like, I wouldn't know like half these schools if I didn't see them every year in the brackets and stuff. Like when I talked about Fairleigh Dickinson beating Purdue and they were number 1 seed, my daughter's like, wait, that's a school, Fairleigh Dickinson? I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So it's kind of a fun way to get to know about some of these schools that are out there.
I think that was one of the schools. They had like their weight room or their locker room was like a hole in the wall, basically. They had nothing. You know what I mean?
Funny.
And they're beating this powerhouse school.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the brackets, if there's any perfect brackets left. I don't know if there's any perfect brackets left, but
that'd be impressive.
I don't think. But yeah, I saw highlights. It was UMBC when they beat, I think, Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
And that was a 16-1, I think.
Was it? Was Kentucky a 1? It might have been.
I think they were high. But they basically said how these schools like that, they have like 50-year seniors on them. And Kentucky has like all true freshmen.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, it's just chemistry. Like, that's basketball. You need chemistry with your teammates. Kentucky's like 5 stars from all over the world. And then you got this UMBC team who's like 5th-year seniors, been playing together literally probably 24/7 for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So that gives you an advantage, man.
I know. It is funny. It's kind of like if you go into like an IM building like we were just talking about, and you run into a group of like old guys that aren't fast and got the knee brace and the Rex bags. But like, you're like, wait a minute, how are these guys beating these young guys who are in way better shape and way faster and stronger? And it's like, well, it's, there's a lot to be said about the chemistry and the teamwork that goes into a team.
Yeah. The rec specs, man, I think that's a good look. I would wear them.
I sported them for about 1.5 years in middle school.
Yeah,
great.
You did when you broke your nose. Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny story in your book. I thought, didn't someone on your team wear rec specs? I thought Titus Ivory wore them. Maybe not.
He wore the high socks. We didn't really have any rec specs on our team.
Okay. Well, here's the brackets, Tyler. So I just did the math.
88 remaining. That's impressive.
That is very impressive.
After the first 2 days.
All right. So 0.00004% of the brackets that were filled out are still perfect.
Out of 24 million, 88.
That's insane.
You're talking like that's probably better than Powerball numbers, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and I think they still
32 because they're playing 32 games in the first weekend.
I think the prize is like $100,000 or something. I don't know, because you can still win money even if you're not perfect, I think.
Yeah, probably. I never actually saw like what you win because I never got anywhere close, so I didn't really bother to check. I think 1 year Warren Buffett put up like $1 billion or something in the bracket.
Billion. And I remember, like, they used to have, like, I think it was like Papa John's. They would have like basketball themed boxes, and I think the one year Papa John's was giving away Papa John's basketballs if you ordered pizza, during March Madness.
That's cool.
That's
cool. Pizza Hut used to do that back in the day. You could get like a Pizza Hut basketball or something. I didn't know Papa John's did it too, but that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So, who you been talking to, man? Have you talked to Rob Pelinka at all?
Yeah, I just saw Rob the other day. The funny thing is we get all excited about basketball, but like all the wrestling stuff is going on, and Rob trains a bunch of wrestlers over there at Victory. So those guys, Penn State wrestling, man, those guys are insane. I think they maybe like 10 guys or something like made the quarterfinals, which means they'll have like basically like 10 All-Americans. I mean, it's like those guys are unbelievable. Maybe Kale should just coach all the sports at Penn State.
I know. That would be great. That's a great program for sure. Yeah. But just won again, national title. So 4 in a row. Man, they're one of the best dynasties ever.
I know, ever. And like it's gotta just be driving all the other schools mad. We're just like loving it and stuff, but like they're just gotta be like, man, how do we beat these guys? What more can we do? And it's not like the other schools don't have good wrestlers, I mean, geez, those guys they're amazing. But yet somehow, man, Penn State, they get these top guys and just Kale just brings them to this next level, which is remarkable.
Bo Bassett, he's not coming to Penn State. He's going to Iowa, but he's a pretty big name in the wrestling world right now. High school kid. I think he's a Pennsylvania guy too.
Oh yeah.
But I guess he wants to be the guy. So if he comes to Penn State, he won't be. But
oh, interesting. Yeah. What weight class is he?
He's like, I think he's like in the 150s. I don't know that much about. I'm not a big wrestling fan. Not because I don't like it. It's just I'm a football guy,
Yeah.
But I think he's like in the 150s. I don't think he's like a huge kid, but he's like the number one wrestler in the country right now, I think. And
wow,
his reputation is that he's got a big head, so that's why he didn't come to Penn State, because he wants to be the guy, and he could be one of the guys at Penn State, but he's not going to be the guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're too good.
That's really interesting that a Pennsylvania guy leaves Pennsylvania to go to Iowa. But in some ways, like, if that's his reputation, that's how he is. I can see why a guy like Kale is like, no thanks, man. Like it doesn't matter how good you are, you're the top guy. Like it seems like they got some pretty like high quality, high character guys there at wrestling, which is on the wrestling team, which is awesome.
Yeah, and David Taylor, he's coaching at Oklahoma State, and so these guys are all going to go on to have careers. Bravo Young, he just got engaged. I think that was who it was. I met Roman Bravo Young. He's a really nice kid.
Cool.
So a lot of good character guys. They used to come into your cryo zone there. I forget who the one guy was, but he was like one of the best wrestlers at Penn State.
Yeah, there was a couple of guys that came over. His name's escaping me now. He coaches high school, I think, over at PO, or did for a little while. Really good dude, man. He would always come in all beat up, just all bruised up and scratched up. I'm like, you come from practice? Yeah, man. I need to cool down real quick. I'm like, all right.
Well, yeah, when I was working there, Tyler, like we had doctors coming in and a lot of good people, a lot of nice people came in there. I wish you still had that, but that was, there's just not, it's one of those things, man, where I just think people just don't know enough about it yet, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know. Now it's like it seems like it's almost kind of shifted back towards like cold plunges again because there's all these like cold plunges now that people can just buy. You know, you can get one online or like, should I saw one at Sam's for like like $150 or $200?
Yeah.
I'm like, I might get one of these things, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. That's okay. I mean, the cry was a lot of fun. It's certainly a little bit more work probably than a cold plunge would be with all the nitrogen and stuff. But they have different versions of them now where you don't have to have the big, 750 pounds of nitrogen, liquid nitrogen to use. They have other ways to do it, I guess. But that was the version we had. But
yeah. Oh, I remember, man, carrying those things.
I know, man. That's why we had to hire big, burly guys like you to be able to do it.
We had to get it over that step, That was the hardest part, getting it over the step. And
I know.
Dragging it across the artificial grass.
Yes.
It wasn't that bad.
No,
it was good workout.
At least it was actually pretty close. I mean, imagine if we were in like a different kind of location where you had to like wheel it down a hallway or like, I don't know. Like there's a lot of places I know of that like have way harder in and out for those big tanks. So,
yeah.
Who did you pick in your brackets, Final Four, or to win it all?
Well, so North Carolina, they're my, no disrespect to Penn State, they're my winning team. They're my because I hate Duke. But I picked Duke just because Cooper Flag, I mean, they're stacked.
Yeah.
So I think that's who wins, but it could be Houston. You have Florida. I was hoping Bama too. I would like to see Bama win, but who knows, man? You don't know. I mean, you know way more about it than me, but you have Florida, so it's who knows. It could be anybody.
I saw Florida play a few times. I'm like, man, Florida is like, they're just so talented also, like a Duke. And I feel like Duke could absolutely win it. I think I might even have them in the finals against Florida. But I just felt like Duke sometimes drops the ball. And like they just haven't been like winning championships that much lately. I don't know. It was just my hunch. It seems like sometimes they don't go as far or they mess up my bracket too soon.
Arkansas is up now. But what he's done at St. John's, man. I mean, historically, like they're pretty good, right? But they're not like 2-seed good, are they?
No, they're not usually that good. But I mean, that guy, Patino, man, I've talked to a couple of guys that have either played for him or coached with him, and it's hilarious. Like some of the stories, just like a lot of some of these coaches. But my high school coach actually coached with him at Providence years ago. It was like the 80s, I think, when they went to the Final Four. And that was a big, big deal and kind of put Patino on the map, I think. But I think I heard that he has taken 6 teams to the NCAA tournament. I'm like, that's just amazing. Like
it is.
That's no like accident or just you're getting lucky, with a program that somebody built before you or something, and you're just taking their guys. I mean, that's like you're the one leading that, orchestrating that. So it's pretty remarkable what he does. And but yeah, the guy I played with overseas, he played for him at Louisville, and he's like, man, and some of these guys, you got to imagine, some of these college guys, like, they have big egos. They think they're amazing. Like, nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'm not going to listen to authority kind of thing, because it's just the nature of like 18 to 20-year-old guys, 18, 22-year-olds. But man, he didn't mess around, man. Like, people knew, like, you respected him, and you like, followed the lead. Otherwise, you weren't going to be there very long, or you weren't going to play, or he just like maybe outright embarrass you like in front of the team. So he's a tough dude, and I don't know his whole like background and story, but you can tell he probably grew up like, in a pretty, I don't know, just tough area or whatever, just given his nature of the way he is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of those old school coaches left, man. Like those Joe Paterno-esque coaches like Coach K and Coach Saban and Paterno, Patino. I mean, there's not a lot of those coaches left. So it's good to see. But like Gino Auriemma, the coach from Kentucky, the coach from Kentucky? What's his name again?
Oh, the Kentucky coach now?
Yeah. Or Arkansas coach, I'm sorry.
Arkansas, Calipari. Yeah.
Calipari, I mean, Patino. There's just not a lot of those coaches left, man, unfortunately. There's just extremely successful old school guys that even today they're like, I don't care how you live your life, man. You're going to do it my way, That's great.
Yeah. I know. So this is kind of a cool matchup that these guys have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second year to take St. John's is very impressive, and to be the 2 seed. So hopefully they make a little run. I picked them to go pretty far as well.
Have you you said Rob Pelinka. Have you talked to him since the trade or anything? Have you talked to him much recently or?
No, I haven't talked to him in quite some time, actually. But he was really great to me, like when I was in high school and stuff, and because he had gone to Michigan and would come back and like talk to his old high school where I was in Lake Forest, Illinois. But really great guy, and what a cool journey he's been on. I mean, like his dad was my one of my teachers in high school, and like he right around this time he would show like some highlights of him. I remember watching the game when Chris Webber called that timeout against North Carolina, and he's like, but what you don't see is like Rob is like wide open in the corner for a 3, and we're like, wait, what do you mean? And so like he puts it on, and he's like, man, if he just gave it up, Rob had just hit like a couple of 3s and he was going to hit another one, but he's got a really cool journey he's been on, man, from being a amazing high school basketball player where we were from, going to Michigan. He won a title his first year, actually, because that was maybe with Big Dog, Glenn Rice, I think. And then he didn't really play much because he was a freshman. And then by the time his junior and senior year came around, that's when the Fab Five came in, and so he was a 6 man most of the time, but then goes on to a lawyer and then become an agent and represents Kobe and all these top guys, and then from being an agent to being a GM of the Lakers, I'm like, holy smokes, man, he's a pretty remarkable guy.
Well, I mean, speaking of Lakers, like JJ Redick, I remember when he played. I remember when Kemba Walker was in it, Anthony Davis. What's the Love played for the Cavs. What's his first name?
Love.
Kevin Love. Like, I remember Kevin Durant. Dude, I remember the one year, like Kevin Love, when he was in it, all the 4 seeds had like 4 Hall of Fame NBA players in them. And UCLA didn't win it, but yeah, you just always have this top talent in the tournament. And there was a guy on a podcast I watched recently where he said since 1988 there hasn't been one team that won the whole thing that didn't have like an NBA star on it.
Wow.
So that's why I think it could be Duke. But then again, I don't know much about Florida, but Cooper Flagg, man, he's the next one, I would think.
Yeah. Did he officially announce, is he going pro?
I thought he's coming back. I thought he said he was coming back. I thought I heard that a while ago. That
he talked about it. He like kind of hinted at like it wasn't out of the realm, because shoot, I mean, he'll make like $5 to $7 million as a sophomore in college. Why not? If you're like in college.
Yeah, and he could probably graduate, get his degree in 2 years, because those guys never leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some Penn State football players, they leave with like 2 bachelors and a master's in like 4 years.
That's amazing.
And I kind of did that too when I was in school. I could have graduated with my bachelor's in 3 years, but I wanted to stay because I went to summer. I did fall, winter, spring, fall, spring, and then all summer. I was in class like year round.
Really?
You can do it. Yeah, because like I live so close.
Yeah.
So, it can be done, but
were your parents like, listen, you don't need to go back for another year. We're done paying for this if you're done.
well, I wish I would have, they were tuition wise, they were ready to be done for sure. But I kind of wish I did it, just graduated with my first one and stayed like 2 more years and got another bachelor's. But I don't know. You really, 2 bachelors, like you're good with one.
Yeah, for sure. Unless it's something you really love doing.
Yeah.
I know when I was done, I was just so ready to be done. Like I had no thoughts of getting a master's. And like, I did not want to go to class. And now I feel like, I don't know, I'm farther along where like, I don't mind like learning stuff and like having somebody like who's really smart, like teach me and just learning from them. But I think when you've just been doing it for so long as a kid, you're like, gosh, let's just go do something else.
Well, the thing about school is like high school, you can only do it so much and then you get burnt out.
Yeah.
So, but Tyler, is there anything that stands out to you right now in the basketball world? I mean, is there anything that you want to talk about in particular?
I think we're like in the most fun month of the year, to me, like just all these games, like everybody kind of having their shot is just so fun. And I know I really enjoyed it. Even people that don't follow basketball, it's fun to like see them get excited about it and talk about it. I mean, like when I'm in the operating room for work, like people are talking about it while they're like cutting off bones and like dissecting hips and stuff, so it really is something that I think it's just one of the great parts of like America, just our country. Like you have something like this that kind of brings so many people together. They're cheering for their school, they're cheering for other schools, and they're just excited for like these young guys and girls that have so much talent and put so much into like what they're doing and all this stuff. I mean, like when I was playing last night at the IM building, I'm like, man, I feel old. I can't really, move nearly like I used to. And these, college guys are just sprinting around, like never getting tired and stuff. And I'm like, you just can't appreciate sometimes like how good these guys are and like how easy they make some of this stuff look. And like this one kid threw down a dunk last night. I'm like, man, that was pretty impressive, and he wasn't even like on any D1 team. He was just like a guy messing around at the gym. And so like some of these guys, the stuff that they do, it just, I just think it's so fun to see and watch these guys as they're just put so much time and effort into their craft for all these years.
Yeah. How did you do playing last night? That's cool that you went.
Yeah, I just played like 3 games and man, it broke a really good sweat. It was a whole lot better than the treadmill. That's for sure. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
We had a 3-on-3 that I played in last summer and our team name was Better Than a Treadmill. But it was fun, man. Like I don't get too crazy with it. Like I want to break a good sweat, have some fun. Like, it's fun just kind of being in that little team thing, even if you're just being thrown together. Like it's like instant teamwork. Like instantly you got to work with guys. Maybe you don't know them or never met them before, but that is kind of fun. Like, if you're not in that environment every day in your regular school or work, like that's kind of neat. Like, hey, we're all like working together. There's something that really, I think brings a lot of people together like that. I guess as I look back on it, that's one of the things that you always hear guys say that I miss the locker room the most, right? They miss their guys, they miss the brotherhood or the sisterhood. And so it was fun, like when you make a good pass to a guy and he makes the bucket, like you're both rewarded. Like it felt so good to like throw a couple good passes last night and have guys like make shots, and so it's kind of like that, just that selfless act that always feels good. Like I didn't play a lot of football growing up, but when I see guys make like a really good block for a running back, I'm like, that's gotta feel so good. Like, man, I opened that hole for him and like I gave myself up so that my next guy could go. and go get the glory and win for the team, right? And you're a part of that. And that I think that whole just idea of sacrifice for somebody else, for something greater, is such a beautiful thing. And for me, I'm a man of faith, where we worship a God that gave up everything, right? He said, listen, it's necessary for me to die as Jesus, and he died for everybody, and in order that we could kind of bridge that gap back and have that relationship with God. So I think it's really cool, just that whole idea of doing something greater for somebody else, and living a life of sacrifice.
Yeah, there's always good games going on there, man, and you're playing with total strangers too. But yeah, that's part of your passion for basketball, and you still have it, so that's good.
Yeah,
you definitely have a passion for it, man.
It was a good time, man. Some good runs, and I didn't, have to limp out of there with any, torn ligaments in an ankle or meniscus tear. So that was a win.
Well, see, that's why I would love to go play some basketball like that, but I don't want to get hurt. And I've never been seriously injured. I mean, I played football on a fractured foot, and that really hurt. But I would go there and pop an ACL or Achilles, or I always got the most weird injuries when I played. Fractured foot, I hurt it just running in a game. When I played football recently, alumni games, I'd pull my groin, and then I wouldn't be able to lift my leg, and just weird stuff like that. That always happened to me. I don't know why, but
yeah. I know, and I remember just playing so just carefree and all out, and never worried about getting hurt as a kid. And now I'm okay, first few steps down the court, nice and easy. And then once I kind of get up to speed, then I can go and then settle down. But it is funny how things change as you get a little bit older.
You get pretty competitive when you play?
Not crazy competitive, not like last night. I'm just kind of out there having fun, and yes, I want to win, and yes, I'm definitely out there trying and stuff, but it's not like anything is on the line. Now there's a 3-on-3 tournament next weekend that I'm going to play in, and when that is the case, I'll go pretty hard, because then I do want to. I feel like there's something I'm playing for, But or there's a summer league that I play in. It I'll play hard, but it's usually not until playoffs where I'm all right, it's time to really go, and then I'm really I get competitive, want to win.
Well, we'll have to go golfing sometime, Tyler. I know you always play in the Coaches versus Cancer, but
yeah. Sometimes I do. I'm not the world's greatest golfer, but are you pretty good?
I mean, I've been playing since I was 3. I'm about a 15 handicap, roughly.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
My strong suit is driving the ball, so
yeah.
I usually hit the ball over 300 yards. So,
ooh, dang, the power.
Yeah. My cousin, he's really good. He was in the drive, chip, and putt at the Masters a couple years ago.
No way.
And he golfs in college now. So yeah, it's between my dad, my uncle, and my brother. We all golf, and my dad and my uncle, they really got into it in the 80s. And my dad's good too, but my uncle, he's he could probably, if he wanted to, he could probably try to play on the senior tour. He's
wow,
that good. So yeah, the important part with that is starting young. Got to start young, man.
Yeah, no question.
But all right, Tyler.
I may have to scoot, but enjoy the game.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wish you the best with your picks and your brackets, and man, a lot more good basketball to come.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. You have a good day, man.
Sounds great, man. Talk to you soon. Thanks, buddy.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.